Hey there YouTube, it's Ryan Welton from Ryan Welton Music. How many of you collected cassettes growing up? Boy, I sure did. Bought them at the store. I'd get the Sertrons, the Maxims, I forgot what they were called, but the good cassettes, and I would record songs off the radio. I got a bunch. This is just one batch that I picked out of my closet right now. And I'm looking through these and I'm like, there are some wonderful albums here. Let's talk about them next. 80s Chat. All right, there's so many albums here. I'm not going to talk about all of them. And these aren't even ones that I recorded off the radio. These are ones that I bought legit at the store through Columbia House. How many Columbia House accounts did you have? I had at least 5 growing up. That's why they never survived, right? You would pay the 99 cents of the $9 to get the 12 cassettes, and then you'd wait day after day to get all your albums, and then you'd never fulfill it. That's just the thing that we all did as teenagers back in the 80s. So let's talk about some of these, right? Ooh, here's one. For all of you smooth jazz yacht rock folks, Michael Sembello's Bossa Nova Hotel, right? Okay, so you know him for the song Maniac. But let me tell you, this album is actually fantastic. He had a second hit called Automatic Man. That starts the album off. And then you have songs called First Time, Cowboy, It's Over, and, well, Maniac. The second album is fantastic. You got Godzilla, Talk, Cadillac, Layback, and Superman. Now, mind you, he only had a couple of hits, but he has an extensive career as a backup singer and studio musician. And this is just, if you're an 80s fan, if you love that 80s sound, that early 80s sound, this is a must-have. Go find it. Bill Withers, Watching You, Watching Me. Back in the 80s, we used to watch a lot of MTV, but we also watched some BET. Once upon a time in the mid-80s, BET was very adult contemporary, and in the early morning hours would show videos. It's where I learned to love George Benson's album 2020. And Bill Withers had a song called Oh Yeah. Go find it. I'll post the link. I'm going to post links to these albums too, see if I can get a little affiliate money going on. But this is a ridiculously good album. One of my favorites over the years. Watching You, Watching Me. Oh Yeah. Something That Turns You On. Don't Make Me Wait. Heart in Your Life. Watching You, Watching Me is fantastic. Other songs, We Could Be Sweet Lovers is great. You Can't Just Smile It Away. Holy moly, is that a beautiful song. Bill Withers, Watching You, Watching Me. I've got some clunkers in here too, or at least what the critics call clunkers. I always loved Eddie Murphy's How Could It Be album. Sure, it's got Party All the Time, and that's not my favorite song in the world. But the actual album itself, the songs, the compositions, I liked it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I know I'm going to get lambasted for that, but at one point, this was such a rare album that people were selling copies of this for like $50, $100 on Amazon. And I don't think it's because everybody loved it. I think it's because it was infamous. However, I really like this. And this, like the song Do I and C.O.N. Confused, Rick James produced this. The song How Could It Be? I don't know. I liked it. There you have it. But critically, it was considered a clunker. So one guy who was really never considered a clunker, and this is just one of my favorite albums from when I was 14. This came out in 1984. This is Roger Daltrey's Under a Raging Moon. Always loved The Who. Always loved Roger Daltrey. And this is a freaking fantastic album. Under a Raging Moon has the songs After the Fire, which was his hit. It didn't hit the top 40. It came pretty close. But boy, what a great song. After the Fire Still Burns. Don't Talk to Strangers. Breaking Down Paradise. The Pride You Hide. Move Better in the Night. Love Me Like You Do. All of these are great. His second single from the album was called Let Me Down Easy. And a lot of this sounds like Bryan Adams, to be honest with you. But Roger Daltrey's just a better vocalist. Fallen Angel, It Don't Satisfy Me, Rebel, Under a Raging Moon, clearly dedicated to the late great Keith Moon of Who fame. Oh, so toast to the Who right there. Keep moving here. What else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah, So if I were making a list of my top 10, top 20 favorite 80s songs, close to the top of it would be the 1985 number one hit for the band Aha, Take On Me. This is their album called Hunting High and Low. They had a second top 40 hit called The Sun Always Shines on TV, which is a great song. However, this entire album is terrific. The whole thing. Train of Thought, Hunting High and Low, fantastic song. That may have been a third single that they at least tried to, get to the top 40. Living a Boy's Adventure Tale, And You Tell Me, Love Is Reason, I Dream Myself Alive. Brother, let me tell you something. Aha, you ain't gonna get better than that. And I bought their second album too, that I think had the song Cry Wolf. Just a great, great album. Ashford and Simpson hit the top 40 in the mid-80s with a song called Solid, but they're most famous for writing Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I bought a couple of the albums that were lesser known, the ones that came out later. This one's called Real Love, and I've got one called Love or Physical. Now, I highly doubt that Ashford, boy, get in there. I highly doubt that Ashford and Simpson were critically acclaimed because a lot of these songs were a little silly. However, they're fantastic. Fantastic writers. Craftsmen. Absolute craftsmen. They have a song on here called I'll Be There For You. They've got one called Cookies and Cake. One's a little silly, and one is just a big old ballad. I love them to death, and I was very sad when Nicholas Ashford died. Big, big fans of theirs. Baja. I've got me some Baja. Of course, I've got the Time and Tide album. This is London, Warsaw, New York. It's got the song Cruisin' for Bruisin'. It's got her version of Until You Come Back to Me. Fantastic. I think my favorite song on here may have been called Best Friends. Oh, let's go here. Linda Ronstadt. There's an Oklahoma connection here because a couple of these songs, at least a couple, were written by the great Jimmy Webb from Elk City. We got Still Within the Sound of My Voice. Holy moly. She was in the top 10 with Aaron Neville for a couple of these songs. Don't Know Much and All My Life. Those aren't nearly the best songs on this album. Still Within the Sound of My Voice blows me away. We've got the song I Keep It Hid. Holy moly, just rip your heart out good. Love, love, love this album. That was from like 1989. Got a little 90s in here. We got the soundtrack from the movie Reality Bites, which was good stuff. Juliana Hatfield 3. You got The Knack, My Sharona from the late 70s. It's good stuff. You got Lisa Loeb and 9 Stories with Stay. I remember that. Always had a crush on Janine Garofalo. Anyway, got good stuff in here. I'll talk about more of these later. Oh, how about this? Dan Hill. That was his 80s album. It's good stuff. And little known Canadian band. I say little known. If you watch Beavis and Butthead, you might be familiar with The Pursuit of Happiness because they made fun of cigarette dangles once. But God Bless America, that's a great album. It's from the early 90s. It's called The Downward Road. Cigarette dangles, Nobody But Me, I'm Ashamed of Myself, Pressing Lips. Is Villa in Portugal on here? I don't know. Anyway, so many albums to go through, so little time. I'll get back to it at some point later, but those are just some of my favorites. I'm going to put links to all these below, and believe me, if I tell you that I love an album, I genuinely love an album. If I were recommending to you to get any one of these, I would tell you to get Roger Daltrey's Under a Raging Moon. Get it. If you love that early 80s yacht rock sound, Michael Sembello's Bossa Nova Hotel. It'll be the best $1.99 you spend. Seriously, it's fantastic. And then Aha's Hunting High and Low. It's just fantastic music. That's it for right now. First edition of 80s Chat. What would you like to talk about in terms of the 80s, and who are your favorite 80s groups? What would you like to hear me cover from the 80s? I'm going to do more of that. I really appreciate you listening. Hope you'll give me a subscription. I got a whole bunch more of these cassettes to tell you about. So let's talk next time on 80s Chat for Ryan Welton Music. We'll see ya!